we are getting stuck in. I'm going to try and make these nice and quick videos for everybody so that everything's a little bit more compressed. We're going to be working with the Modern Witch Tarot by Lisa Sterle and just using the Wheel of the Year for clarifying. Let's get stuck in. I hope the angle's a little bit better for everybody compared to last month. We'll see what messages we have for you guys. And do remember, if the reading doesn't resonate with you, don't freak out. Have a look at your rising and moon signs. I'm just gonna have a quick sip of water. Okay, let's see what else we have coming up for you guys in January. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So we'll get one more for you guys. Okay. A couple more. Right, let me just have a quick little look and see what we're dealing with here. This is a lot of stuff to do with self. I'm hearing self as kind of like an overall theme here. We've got a little situation up here for some of you guys in relationships. But let me just see here. We've got these Wands cards. I kind of get the impression that with the Page of Wands and the Two of Wands here, I'm sort of feeling that there may be a bit of a disconnect with a friend, and this is coming through, and I see this friend, this could be you, progressing and sort of going further with your projects, with your career. This is somebody putting themselves out there, whether or not this is putting yourself out there on social media or in some form of acting. However this is resonating for you, I just see you, Gemini, kind of having your friendship face, but then having your career driven face. I do see progress with this. I do see progress with your career. You're taking risks with your career, and this may be met with a friend or by a friend that maybe doesn't seem like they're as proud of you or as supportive of you as you otherwise have been of them in the past. There's a reminder here that any sort of negative opinions, any sort of backlash you may be getting from this friend, this isn't a reflection on yourself. You're definitely striving, and I feel like you know this. You know that you're going places now. You know that you're gaining momentum with your project, this project, your projects in general. And there's a bit of envy coming from this friend. They're sort of not where they thought they would be. They're not seeing themselves as successfully. They're kind of wondering, with envy and a little bit of jealousy here, you know, how come you're getting so far up and off and I'm still stuck back here? Just be mindful of that when you move forward in conversations with this person, or if there's any snide remarks, or you kind of feel that there's a lack in excitement for you, because I feel like if the shoe was on the other foot, you'd be very excited for this friend of yours, and they're not meeting you with that kind of energy. So there's a message here for those of you that's resonating, to just be mindful of that. You may be met with a little bit of conflict. I don't feel like it's anything necessarily at this point that's going to wreck a friendship, but I do feel like there may be a conversation, or it may cause an argument down the track if it's kind of not discussed. All right, we do have a few wands here for you guys. Right, let's see with this Three of Swords and Two of Swords, and I kind of feel like somebody's not paying attention, and I don't say that just as a blanket statement. I say that because it's almost like you're choosing to be ignorant. I feel like there's been a blow up this is something that's already happened. This is with yourself and your partner. Things maybe aren't going to plan. There may be a bust up at the start of January that kind of has kind of knocked you down a little bit, because I feel like things were going quite well, and this might be even the first sort of Barney in the relationship, the first sort of disagreement in the relationship, and everything was sort of honeymoon period, and then it's like, oh no, we've actually had our first fight, and you kind of just switch off to it. You're like, I don't even want to think about this, like this wasn't supposed to happen. I am feeling that this isn't necessarily a bad thing. This isn't a bad thing. I feel like, you know, every relationship has arguments. Every relationship has arguments. I just want to know why we're getting such positives as a follow-up to this. Let me just see. Yeah, I'm just seeing this not as a bad thing. I feel like the fight itself is pretty intense, and I feel like for you it's like the end of the world, which is why you're kind of closed off to it and you don't want to deal with it. But it really isn't. Although we've got the Three of Swords here, and this is a pretty dramatic card, the clarifiers in this situation, you've got the Three of Chalices and the Nine of Chalices, and this is coming together. This is wish fulfillment. This is good stuff, gratitude, you know, opportunities being satisfied. So I don't feel that this is something that's going to tear you guys apart. Potentially, I mean, it may do. It depends on how you handle the situation, but I see that this is how you're handling it. It happens, and then you just kind of switch off from it, and you don't want to borrow it. But then you've got these great cards here, the Three of Chalices, as I said, and the Nine of Chalices, which is Three of Cups, Nine of Cups. And this is good energy. This is good stuff, and I feel like there is a good that comes from this situation. Perhaps this is an argument that had to happen. Perhaps this is a disagreement that had to happen. Perhaps one of you is kind of walking through the relationship a little bit with rose-colored glasses on, and this argument just kind of brings things back down to level a bit, and be like, okay, you know, maybe there's a unrealistic outlook on the way your relationship should be, and when the argument happens, it may make you realize that, okay, we're going to have arguments. That's okay. It doesn't mean that every time we argue the relationship's going to be over. It just means that that's something that we have to work through together. And it may be that I almost get the impression that whoever this is resonating for, the other half, the partner, isn't that good at opening up and expressing themselves. It's kind of like you, if you're having a good day or a bad day, you wear your heart on your sleeve, Gemini, and everybody around you kind of knows where you stand. There are moments and certain aspects of your personality that you do really keep closely guarded for yourself. But I don't see you as being the one that isn't opening up in the relationship. So perhaps that's where the argument stems from. They're not giving you what you need to feel secure in the connection. So perhaps this argument, as it comes about, it kind of breaks down a little bit of those walls, and you're able to start having those conversations and sort of feeling out where they are and learning a little bit more about them. I feel like when it comes to their upbringing and their past, they're sort of someone that's, I'm hearing the phrase like, I don't live in the past, I live in the present, and as such, they sort of don't even like to discuss the past. That's a big part of growth, like, and when you're in a new connection, you sort of have to gauge where the other one is at, what they've been through, to get a good sense of who they are as a person. So this could be, I'm getting this is a blessing in disguise. Don't look at the fight, the blow up, the bust up as being like a full stop scenario. I definitely don't see it like that. Don't close yourself off to it. Allow it to sort of flow you in a more natural progression, I guess, towards having these conversations. Okay, let's see what else we've got for you guys. I like to sort of do these readings in a few different, like everything sort of comes in as a few different scenarios, rather than one sort of general story for everybody, and I hope that helps to get more messages to more people. That's just sort of how it happens. I don't know why there's a need to say that. Maybe, I don't know. Someone's come from watching somebody else and they're like, what is this chick doing? She's all over the shop. Okay, so I'm getting quick energy here. I'm getting fast paced. Someone's rushing into something. One of you may need to slow down. Some of you are kind of going in head first and then thinking later, and as a result of this, you don't want to go into certain situations. I feel like somebody learned something or somebody is told something, and the information, it kind of triggers you a little bit, and you go in head first with like fire up your ass to knock whatever this is head on. But I almost get this, like, you don't have all the facts. I get that there's more to the story. Someone's kind of giving you one sort of little negative chunk to a bigger picture that maybe isn't as bad as what you've been led to believe. So if you get some it's sort of like secondhand information, so it could be gossip, and this could be a workplace situation. Doesn't necessarily have to be, but it kind of has that vibe. It's kind of like you hear something half-assed. Oh god, you hear something half-assed from someone else, and it makes you get all fired up, and then you go to the source and you try and you sort of go in there with passion and fire and wanting to squash whatever it is. You don't like conflict, you don't like confrontation, you want to end it. But there's more to the story. They've kind of given you a little snippet of information, so just be mindful of that, because this could have a real blow-up effect. A real blow-up effect in terms of I don't feel like this is a blow-up effect in terms of you, though. I feel like it's going to backfire on whoever it is that tells you this. I feel like it's going to backfire onto them. Maybe because they have delivered the information in a half-assed, roundabout way, not given all the information. Just be aware of that. There's more to that story. I feel like I could talk about that situation for days. But I don't feel like it's a negative situation or has a negative outcome for you. I see it working out quite well. And I feel like that may be why there's a need to bite your tongue. Don't go jump off the handle, because you don't want it to backfire. I feel like either way it's going to backfire on them, because the truth's going to come out that they've told you ahead of time. They've told you something that, they've jumped the gun and they shouldn't have told you when they did. But I don't feel like it's not going to work out for you. Perhaps there's just a need to, if you hear something, be a little bit mindful of how you approach the situation. Don't go in gun-ho. Kind of wait and be like, oh, there's probably more to this story, if that's resonating for you, and that's coming in January, obviously. Let's see what else we've got going on here. Okay. I don't know if this is a family. Let me just get a clarifier on this. I'm seeing travel and holidays here too, so somebody may be going away, going to the beach. I'm seeing that kind of, getting that kind of vibe. Got quite a few of the, yeah. Right, let's see here. Right, somebody here, Gemini, is stirring the pot. I see you kind of dropping bombs and waiting for the outcome, and I don't feel like this is your usual energy. So this may be coming from a place of, I feel like you've been through a bit of shit, and it's kind of put you in a bit of a negative mindset. And I feel like you've got people around you that have been supporting you, but you're just a little bit ticked off. And I'm feeling like not that it's unwarranted, but I'm feeling that there's reasons that you're ticked off that are warranted, but how you go about it in terms of, it's almost like I'm ticked off about one thing, but I'm going to nitpick at you and be pissed at you for something that's sort of minor, but there's a bigger issue going on behind the scenes. And it's like you've got just cause to be a bit pissy, but you sort of can't be pissy about something that is valid and then treat people in a shitty way, but then still try and play the victim. It takes the limelight off from the fact that you've actually got something pretty warranted that you could be pissy about. And I feel like there's friends connected with you that maybe don't know what's going on. That could be what you're pissed about. You're like, I'm dealing with shit and you bastards, excuse me, you assholes don't even know what I'm going through. That's not their fault if you kind of aren't opening up to them and letting them in on stuff that's going on in your life. I get that you're reserved. I get that you don't like to put your emotional stuff out there on display, but you can't be pissed at other people when they're not sympathetic of information in your life that they don't know about. And I get that, oh crikey, Barry, I get that you're in a bit of a dank space right now. But this really isn't like, your friends aren't sympathetic. Your friends aren't, I feel like this laptop's going to ding in a minute here. I'm just fixing my mum's computer for her. Your friends aren't not sympathetic of the situation, but they don't know about the situation either. So if you need that support from them, if you need your people to be around you and to rally for you, you're going to have to let them in. You're going to have to be open with them. Nope. Thought the postie was coming here. As a spin-off from that, you're kind of closing yourself, holy dolly, you're kind of really closing yourself off. Yeah, this is a pretty big deal. This may even be something to do with, it could be the loss of a job, it could be something to do with your father, stepping out, it could be a divorce, it could be a situation that's going on sort of above you, around you, but it's really affecting you. And I can see through this, it's kind of something that's taken you off guard and you've really not been able to adapt to the situation as a result. It's forced you in many ways to kind of have to be self-sufficient, to have to branch out on your own, to kind of, it's almost like where there was, you know, a constant person or people around you, now there is not. So it's like, whether this is the loss of a job, and you know, that's why I'm seeing a lot of people around, and then one minute you're all by yourself. I can appreciate why this has got you in this sort of hermit mode, wanting to withdraw, but I'm clearly seeing here that there are people around you that want to help. Yeah, and this, yeah, it's a shitty ass situation, but you've got the World card, the Magician, and the I can never say that, Hierophant, in this as well. So I do feel like there will be quick resolve with this. I don't feel like this is your current reality forever. Please don't think that. Please don't think that because of this, and I don't feel like you're somebody that often gets down a lot, so please don't think that if you're in this hermit mode that this is your reality forever. It's healing. You're healing through what it is that you've gone through. How can I help myself get through this situation? Open up to those around you that want to help you. Don't snap at them. Don't get pissy at them for things that are kind of irrelevant to the situation. Be open to their wanting to help. They will want to help you once they understand exactly what's going on. Don't be embarrassed about it. These people are your friends. You know the people that you can trust and that you can you know, the people that you can trust and that you can talk to and who aren't going to throw this back in your face. These people are not going to do that. These people are your support, your friends. They want to be there for you. Open up to them. Please don't think that you have to, you know, be shitty and pissy all by yourself about a situation that they could be helping you with. Okay. I'm going to leave that there for you guys. I hope the messages resonate. Do let me know. Do like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to keep up to date with new videos coming in, and have a great month. Thank you guys for watching.